There are so many apps promising to help you learn a language, build a habit, build a rocket, or climb up the Eiffel Tower. You can spend weeks on all these goals and feel like you've made absolutely no progress. But we don't seem to have that problem with games. You can sink hundreds of hours into digital progress, but real life progress can feel impossible to see and weirdly unsatisfying. So, what is it about games that makes progress feel so satisfying? Going to the gym, learning to play an instrument, discovering something that doesn't exist, or giving a monkey a shower. All these things take time before they give us any obvious sign that we're improving. And I think that's one of the reasons games appeal to us so much. Progress bars, collectibles, experience points, unlockables. Games feel so rewarding because progress is immediately visible. Whereas in real life, progress is typically built from thousands of relatively small actions. Completing a small action like folding your laundry or 10 minutes of studying isn't marked by a progress bar. That's not to say that you can't see the effects of these things at all, but it usually takes a much bigger win to feel like you've actually achieved something. Dopamine neurons in the brain respond to information that indicates that we are moving closer to a reward or an outcome that we consider valuable, like surfing tidal waves. Progress markers are pieces of information that indicate that we're moving towards a desired goal, which is part of what makes games feel so rewarding. So if visible progress feels so good, why haven't we applied this idea everywhere? We have. Before the current AI wave, productivity and learning apps went through a gamification wave, especially borrowing elements from RPGs. The core idea of these apps is that if they make progress visible, then motivation should increase. Leveling up, progress bars, experience points, leaderboards, achievements, streaks. I was fighting for my life to keep my Duolingo streak 3 years ago. And speaking of Duolingo, this might be one of the most popular examples of gamification. I hate that bird, by the way. We also need to look at fitness trackers. I won't lie to you, there is a dopamine rush when I close my fitness rings. I don't think I'm making it today. Unfortunately, Let's Get Fit on the Nintendo Switch is my least played game. That's sad. But by far, the best example of the gamification I'm talking about is Habitica. The app works by treating your real-life to-do list and daily routines like a role-playing game, rewarding you with experience points and gems when you complete tasks. I think that's actually a really good idea, and gamification as a whole is widely accepted as a positive thing, mostly. These systems actually help people start habits. So if gamification solves the visible progress problem, does that mean it completely solves the motivation problem? Not exactly. If visible progress is what drives motivation, why do we still forget to track our progress or lose interest in doing so? Why are we so put off by whatever this is? So yes, it's cool that flossing adds experience points, but having to track and manage all these goals can start to feel like another thing on your to-do list. And streaks can be a source of pressure or anxiety where losing the streak kills motivation entirely. I haven't gone back to Duolingo since I lost my streak. Generally, okay, with gaming, visible progress is a byproduct of having fun. With gamification, visible progress is something you only see by being consistent with reporting all this information. The exact kind of task that I needed gamification for in the first place. Why do we need to go to level 2 anyways? A progress bar can show you that you're moving, but it can't tell you why the destination matters. Games are entire worlds designed to respond to you. Gamification doesn't permanently solve motivation for everyone because motivation is bigger than progress. So visible progress is necessary, but it's not enough for gamification to be effective. While motivation requires the visualization of progress, you also need a purpose. a reason behind the task. Games are generally set up with a story or have some sort of context. That means every action we take in-game is building towards a larger, more meaningful objective. In the gamification of productivity, there is a clear objective like learn a language or exercise consistently, but that is not a why. Why do you want to learn a language? For fun? For a trip? To communicate with a loved one? Why do you want to exercise consistently? To build strength, mobility. Why do you want to paint a continent? To find a good way to spend summer vacation. Gamification might show you that you're on your way to level 2, but you need to define what level 2 actually means for you and why you even want to go there. And the other really important point is risk-free experimentation. As immersed as we can be in a game, the stakes aren't actually real, unless you're like at a tournament or something. So what if you accidentally throw Donkey Kong into poison? Just try again. In real life, that's murder. We can gamify our goals, but they still have real life consequences. Gamification does not necessarily address your fear of performing badly, being judged, or making mistakes. So productivity gamification can work, but it assumes that the only thing stopping you is a lack of motivation or consistency, when sometimes the real problem is that you don't know why you're doing something, you're afraid of failing, or you're avoiding the discomfort that comes with doing something difficult. The point of this video isn't to tell you to gamify your life or not. Don't ruin your life and blame me. It's to understand why we can sometimes spend more time progressing in games while it feels like we've taken no steps in real life. Experience points, streaks, leaderboards, and leveling up through gamification can be very helpful. Progress feels good when we can see it and feel its impact. But life isn't a 3D Donkey Kong game. Real life doesn't constantly show you when you're improving or lets you restart when you get things wrong. So whether you gamify your life or not, the things that games teach us are useful. Visualizing your progress, understanding why your goals matter, and giving yourself room to experiment and make mistakes. And understanding that can make real life progress feel more rewarding. Was this entire video just an excuse for me to talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza? Yes. Yes, it was.